before we get into API testing, we need to understand some of the things, like what do you mean by API, all that. Okay, so API stands for Application Program Interface. API is a software to if API is a software to interface with another software. Okay, now so it's not a user related interface actually. It's a just through software to software interaction. Okay, just a second. Okay, so as I told you, API is a software which is interacting with another software, and you will not have any user intervention in between. Okay, with APIs, application talk to each other without any user knowledge or intervention, as I told you before. Okay, implemented by writing function calls in the program. So you have to have a function call, and within that we will be doing it. Okay, this is the API. So what we basically do is, like, say you have something at a server at the back end, you have some data, and through some software you are going and trying to fetch the data. Okay, like say it can be something getting information or trying to put some information, trying to store, all that you are doing it. It's not like basically whatever happens now, you through UI. Okay, let's say when you say right here, you do something called Facebook. You have a form actually where you will append some data, you will send, you will put something and you will log into that. No, you are trying to get some information now. How it will coming? It will come in the form of website. No, all the data it will come, right? Like that, what I am trying to do was, I will not use this UI. I'll have another software called API interface. Okay, using that you are trying to fetch the data actually. It cannot be Facebook or any other website where it is getting the data from, right? Like email, all that information you will get it actually that way. So from the back end you are trying to fetch the data. Okay, when I am explaining, you will get more detailed actually. Okay, so one thing is API testing is to fetch the data or store a data in a local some website where your data is already there actually. You're trying to put a data or get a data from there. You know HTTP protocol and all. Okay, so then it will be useful. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. What is really API testing means? Okay, here API testing uses software to send calls to the API and get the output. You have one API, one software will be there API. From there you will get the data actually. Okay, that is what it is. API testing treats the component under the test as a black box. Okay, it's a black box kind of a test actually, where you will check only whether data is available, get it, and then you test it that way. It's a black box kind of a testing. You will not get into a logic, all that. The goal of API testing is to verify correct performance and error handling of a component prior to its integration into an application. Okay, what do you mean by application? Some web application will be there. Okay, where it will fetch the data and from the server it will fetch. Na? Before integrating that, you do it through API testing actually. So that interface is giving you proper output or not, you are going to check. Okay, typically how it looks like something like this. Okay, you are looking, this is, you are a user, this is a non-technical example. So this is a user, you have a API. Okay, basically he is kind of a waiter. What he does, you ask for something, no, he will not prepare anything. He will go and get the from the kitchen and he will serve you. It's only for interfacing you actually between user and the actual stuff is there. No, this is something like database or something which is available where it is producing something. You go and request something this through waiter. He is an API kind of a thing. Later, he will help you to get that. So all that software he will provide actually. You only have to request this guy. He has the capability to get the data from here. Okay, now let's go to a technical example. Okay, let's say you have n number of servers, all that. Okay, it can be an SQL server, Oracle server, all that. Now you have a API which will fetch the data from these servers actually. Okay, now when you request for something, no, now this guy is going and fetching the data and giving it to you as a response actually. You will get as a response. This you can do it through mobile or something else also. Okay, but actual testing can be done through some software. API testing we do it. Okay, now this real data, whatever you do, no, that can be displayed on a mobile or any application. That is, you would have interacted with some UI actually. Okay, Facebook, you are sending something request and you are getting, no. So here you are trying to do something like with the data you are trying, with some software you are trying to get it. That we will see. Nandan? Okay, you are able to hear, right?
Yeah, it is audible.
Okay. So you have any questions actually? What do you mean by API? What is this tech? Because I didn't hear anything from you.
No, that is fine. Like I just joined 5 minutes back, but it is basic, so that is fine. So
Haha.
today we'll be covering mostly the API testing using any of the tools like Python or REST
Using
Assured or
Python
something.
only. Using Python, using Flask framework.
Okay, okay.
So there is
Thank
a
you.
requirement people were asking actually. We need to know what do you mean by API and how to do with Python. Actually, we have a module called Flask. Using that, I am trying to cover API testing.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay, this is a technical example. Actually, what we try to do was data can be viewed through your UI pages also. Whenever you request, you will get it. But that is actually you will have to do a lot of user intervention, like say select all that, whatever you did in Facebook. No, think like this is one data server actually where you are going and fetching some data. Okay, so this is you are using UI. Here you don't use UI actually, but you will give some kind of a input through some programmatically. You will give some input and try to get the data actually. Now this Facebook also has some UI support, all that. Okay, so you are trying to do that here. In the Selenium, what we did was we are trying to do a testing on web application actually. Here also we are trying to do a testing of all this API. Using API, we are trying to get the data and do a test actually. That's all we are trying to achieve. So what is the feature available? We are having REST APIs actually, which is what we are going to test. So REST stands for representation of state transfer. The one mechanism where all the web application uses between transmission, like from server to client, now when it is happening, no, all this Facebook or any other website, no, YouTube, all that, no, they do this REST APIs to do the application interaction actually. Okay, so it is a set of functions to which developer perform request and receive a response. You'll request for some data, you'll get some response. That is what we are trying to cover in API testing. REST API interface is made via HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, using that we do it. So REST also allows computer to talk each other over a network. One server, one client, they will interact with each other. Okay, it involves using HTTP methods to send and receive messages and does not require a strict message definition, unlike web services. You don't have to request strict message, means you don't have to follow some standard protocol. Normal protocol is enough. What you use here, REST majorly it uses XML, JavaScript or a JSON object, JSON notation. We call JSON. JavaScript object notation. Okay. Which one? JSON is a one form actually where you will send data. Okay. So XML is how it is one format. No, JSON is also one format. Like how you see dictionary. No, similarly JSONs are looks like. We call it actually JavaScript object notation, JSON. In all web standards, no, you use JSON actually. At least REST uses JSON format. There's something called SOAP is there, SOAP. Okay, simple object access protocol. That uses XML format. That's a protocol. It's a REST is an API actually. We don't have a standard protocol. It uses internally HTTP protocol only. And using JSON, we follow data transmission. These are all basics of REST actually. Okay. Now we have common methods actually in HTTP. 4 methods we use. Get is to get the resource from a remote server. So get means you are trying to request some kind of a data which you will be getting from basically resource is one data which you are trying to access through remote server. Okay. Post means you are trying to create a new resource. You are trying to create a new resource. Okay. Put is one more thing where you will be used for appending some data, like updating some kind of an existing data, or also you can create a new resource. Okay. Delete is to remove a resource from a remote server. You will have some kind of a database. You are trying to do some deletion operation. Okay, so what is the requirement you need? You need to know what is the URL where web host server is hosted. Okay, now get is always you retrieve a data. Okay, then put is to just create or replace some existing data actually, or a new data also you can create, new resource you can create. Post means you are creating a new entry in the server. If it is a database, you are going to create a new entry there. If it is a database, in that you will going to retrieve some data actually. Delete means you are going to remove some resource. It is like an append. You are going to create something new. Put is almost similar to your post actually, but also you can do a modification on an existing resource. Okay, so delete is what you are going to do a resource deletion. Okay, how do you do it? Open a command prompt and install these facilities. Pip install Flask. Then you install pip install Flask RESTful. These libraries you have to install actually. These are all the modules which help you to do. Flask FLASK. I just installed. It was working. Few minutes back I have installed actually. You should say you are using pip version. Okay, it's already installation should be fine. Just do pip. Do pip install capital FLASK. Only F is capital. In my case, it is already installed. Say that it is already available. No, you can also install 3 packages actually. Means it is already installed. Then you do install Flask is done. Then you do something like Flask RESTful.
Yeah, for me it is showing that requirement already satisfied. That means it's already.
It may be saying that. Then you can see that this path.
Okay.
Okay, for that also it is already done for me. Flask hyphen RESTful, RESTF, till that it is capital, then FUL, RESTful. Till T is till F it is capital. Then you do pip install response. So you should see some packages path actually here. So Flask is a module for REST related functionality actually. Everything is installed? Yeah, it will take maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Then you install response. 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 No capital, no small. You should be able to see all these things actually when you say freeze. Pip freeze. It will tell you what all packages are installed. Should be able to see last whatever the version, RESTful some version. Then at the response you should see all these versions. Okay. Come back to this one. You can see Flask is a popular Python web framework. Okay, meaning it is a third-party Python library used for developing web applications. Okay, if you are new to Flask, you recommend. Okay, this is a Python framework actually for developing web-related applications. So what I am trying to do here is I am writing one framework. So you are one thing is you have to write a client application. For that I need a server. So for that I am using a Flask and Flask RESTful methods actually. Because you need a server also, no, who has to respond. I cannot go and talk to Facebook servers actually. So I am creating my own server, web application I am trying to do using Flask framework here. All that is done. Okay, you can get n number of things actually, but it's a freely available service which we have installed now. So why we have done? Because we need to have our own web service. For that we have done this. It provides RESTful methods also, supports REST things. Sorry. Okay, now you come. I'll create one directory. You can see show in Explorer. Okay, I have some files actually which I'll copy. Paste. This is my server. Okay, so what you have to do here is I do an import. Okay, I'll share the code actually. Sys then sys dot append. I'll append my path actually where my package has been installed. This is a path where pip has installed actually. You can just do import Flask, you try, no? Whether you will get it or not, you can see. Today import of Flask, then you will come to know whether you are able to do it or not. Whether your packages are installed or not, you can check. Huh? No, only you do import of Flask. Response is not coming. What is it giving? It would have installed basically. You try to do once again response, then it will say that request is satisfied, something like that information you should get. Okay, just do an import of Flash, then you should have a problem saying that something package is not allowed, something is there. You should tell. Oh, sorry. Okay, my web service is ready. I'll tell you. Just let me. And then I'm sharing some code actually. You can just check that. Okay, the server is a web application, web service actually, which I have done. That is not our interest actually, because I'm only looking at the client side. Server is, it can be any server. Okay, so for you, how do we do? This response is done, no? When you call one more time, yeah. Start till what time? Till X. Okay, from here I have to copy. Okay, this is the server web service actually. I have something defined. Hey, come. How come?
Somehow I read that it's from 12 o'clock.
No.
And I came by bus.
Okay, okay. Almost half an hour over.
Yeah. Started from 11.
11, 10 like that. 11:15, huh? Okay, yeah, 11, 10, 11:15 like that we started. And then I have shared the code. You can try running these things actually. It's a web application.
Yeah. I'll just try to run that.
Yeah. Hopefully you have installed all the required frame, this one actually, modules.
I'll run it from the command line because there are some issues with the PyCharm. I'll run it from command line. It should.
Okay. So I have installed at a different location. So I am just appending my path. So today we are covering that API testing. What we are API, you know API testing. What do you mean by API testing?
It's like calling files.
Not basically files actually. Say you have some data at a resource which is connected to API. We are trying to get that through without UI. You are trying to connect. Basically here, no, you have something like Facebook. Or you can see this one only. Now, when you request, now you will get so many input. Now, these are all you are getting it through some data from some host, remote server, right? Where you will get all this information and you are trying to show that in a page. So instead of UI, how do you through programmatically you can call this and verify this data? Simple stuff is this Facebook or something, YouTube, right? Okay, what you do when you want to get into a Facebook, no, you have to give all this email, password, all that you have to do, right? Through UI you are trying to do. There's something like API is available in the middle actually, which is connecting you between UI, and then you have something like a server. For an example, like this it is. Okay, this is your user, you are inputting some data that will be collected by your API, and it will give a connection to your actual data. So that is what we do it actually. So I am showing a waiter is available who will help you take your request and he will give you a response. You know how to interact with these servers actually, backend server. Okay, if you take the real-time example, no, the API is a one component actually, where you have attached all your resources to this guy. Now, when you request, no, you can either request through your web application or a mobile, anything it can be. Okay, now this guy is taking your request. He know how to get the response from this guy. Actually, he will request and he will get it and he will pass it to you. That way we are trying to do.
Middleware between yourself.
You can call middleware, but you can say it's a simple software actually, which knows how to interact with your resources.
Means both ways is providing connection.
He is an intermediate guy who takes your request and help you in the response. Something like in the hotel, he will not do anything actually. What is his job? His job is to serve actually. The user, whatever user request, he will just do a serve actually, whatever is that. Okay, then open this PyCharm, this one, anything is fine. The command prompt and install these three modules actually. Pip install Flask. Okay, Flask is a web service module available for Python. So by using that, you can create web services actually. Okay, now there is a pip install Flask RESTful, which will give support for REST APIs. No, fraction of like say within a minute or so it will come. Pip install Flask, pip install Flask RESTful. This is web service. I need a server also. Even though I am working at a client side, okay, my interest is only this side actually. So I also wanted this guy. Okay, some server has to be run and he has to give a response. No, so I am trying to do this. I am trying to develop this one which supports API method. So for all these things, I am installing in Flask and Flask RESTful. You are able to do it. Response also. Yeah. Okay. Now once you do all that, no, these two you do a response also. These two, you have one more actually. In pip install response. Three things you have to do. Freeze is a command to know. Pip freeze is a command to know what is the what are all modules are got installed actually. You install both.
Yeah, till RESTful.
Done, na? So do pip install response. No capital here.
Okay, I executed it from the command line, so I was only getting the list of the paths, not any request or response in the current like code what I executed, Vinay.
No. This you are talking about the application.
Yeah. I only got the print statement for the like what you printed sys.path.
After that, it is not hitting these things.
No, I'll just recheck. It didn't hit this web server 127.0.01.
Okay, try this. I'll copy the whole file. Everybody done till here? Come again. Response should be here, no? See here. but that's okay. But you are saying that condition is satisfied, something, that's okay. We'll see that. Okay, desktop and Python. See here, you should be seeing something like this. In the command prompt, when you run it, same thing. Python server.py. You don't know, like I have not shared the code, no? Just do a import of Flask and see whether it is working or not. Otherwise, you have to add the path to it.
After response, it will just keep on running.
It will take some time. It is having so many dependencies. It will run. Once that is run, just then pip freeze, FREEZE. Then you will come to know whether it is installed or not. Everything is small letter.
Yeah, it is running, Vinay. The same
Coming,
thing
right?
what we are
Yeah.
seeing. Yeah, it's coming in the same way, running on the server name and with the debugger pin.
Okay, so what I am trying to do now, those who are attending in the class, now you have to either you can connect it to this link to get the source code. Okay, I'll share it one more time if you want. Just to see, just do a import of Flask and see whether you are able to run it or not. Just import Flask and run the code, then you will see whether it will work or not. That's all you do. Just run it, program working. Because this is around what, how many lines of code? 50 lines of code actually, and you will make a mistake during writing. No, that's why I'll share a code so that you can just note, you can copy that. You are able to connect anyway, right? Last time you have connected.
Yeah, I have to copy that path onwards. They're sending only inwards.
I don't have to copy, just log into this WhatsApp web. From there you will get, no? That is easy, right? Coming, no? So Flask is working. Okay, I'll tell you here, I'll explain the code, then you can note down here what I am trying to do, okay? So what is this contain basically here is, you wanted Flask and request. Flask is providing web services. So you are running it as a server. Okay, now this Flask RESTful is that web service also has a REST method supports.
Yeah, hi.
Okay, so and it will provide you all the resources available and the actual API component. API is what? It's a guy actually, is in a software where it will interact with your resources and do it.
I'll give you a call in some time. That is for the DevOps support, what you mentioned. Yeah, I checked that.
Okay, so you are creating a Flask object with name as app. Okay, and also you are creating an API object with app actually. Okay, then when you say server, right? What do you want? We wanted some kind of a server which will provide you some resources where you should be able to do some adding a resources, deleting a resources, modify a resources. So I'm taking it as a one store actually, where you can keep some kind of a materials, like say it can be chair, table, something like that. No. What do you want? We wanted a server. We store some data. Data here is kind of a resource I'm talking. Everything is in the form of resource I'm talking. Okay. Now here I'm calling it as a store. Okay. One store. Store means it will store a number of resources. Okay. Here what I am trying to store is some kind of an items. It can be chair, table, something like that. Okay. It can be anything, but I'm taking it as a normal store. So it will maintain a list of items actually. Okay, what are all options you have is, okay, first I created in line number 9 is one Flask object I created, means one web service I have started. One web service application I have created. When you say Flask of app means it will have one web application object is created. Now this object I am giving as a API I am creating. API is basically a software, another software which will help you to connect to that actual resource. Then another object we got it. Now here I got that object, and that API I am using it for doing all the options. Okay, so here I created some kind of a class called items. Items is what I mean to say was extended, or like say you have base class as a resource, you have created a derived class actually. So the item is derived out of resource. What is resource? It's a predefined class where it will have all the support for RESTful methods. Now all
Okay,
your, yeah,
one
hello,
question. In
yeah,
the
yeah,
first, like app is equals to flask underscore underscore name. So
name,
that means we are creating an object of
class,
Flask.
class, yeah.
Yeah. But generally we create the objects in a different way. We don't provide underscore underscore name.
And
Generally we
here
like
you can remove also. This is not just an optional.
okay,
Okay,
okay. This is
it's an
option.
optional. Class is a class name. This one is a just given actually, so it will not throw any problem. Okay, I'm creating an app object. It's a now web service. Now web service is having API support. Okay, so this web service object you have given it to API, and you got an API object. Okay, this is all predefined. You have to follow this now. So underscore name is a variable which stores the file name of that. It will basically have main actually in that variable. Okay, now here items is storing all the resources with respect to that server. Okay, now this is the way, since HTTP supports get, post, delete and put methods. No, you have to have all these methods under the class called item. Now item is basically is a derived object out of resource. Derived class out of resource. Okay, because all this resource is actually having all the methods required for web services. Now, as and when you say that item, no, you have to link this resource to your API. You are saying that API dot add resource item, and you have to give a link actually how to access this resources. You like got the link now. This is a link actually. In the client side, you have to request something, right? Like say Facebook, Google, all that. No? Like that, you have given a link to this.
Default link or
This is I am providing a link actually. In order to access any resource, he has to follow something like this. This is a name format. Like say you will have now facebook.com or something like facebook.rhp.com. Now you will access some specific content, right? So this is a node I have given. This is a link actually for him to access. I'll show you on the client side.
Is it the endpoint like or
Yeah, endpoint only. I felt people will not understand, so I'm saying it's a link. Basically, it's an endpoint.
okay.
Endpoint is where you are trying to access the resource for that page. Okay, I can show some example like okay, LearnBase one website and shop course data structure. Now this is one endpoint actually. In order to access this page, you have to take this. It keep changing. Endpoint is keep changing actually based on everything. It will change. This course is one thing where you will get all the courses. This is one endpoint. Now, if you want to specifically get into anything, your endpoint also will change actually. See, your endpoint has changed. So I am providing actually in order to access all the items related methods. No, you have this is an endpoint now. Items, and you have to give a name. Like say name can be, it can be table, chair, something like that. It's a variable or a resource name you are giving here. So I'm saying item dot chair in the client side. In the client side means it's a web server side. In the client side, I will show you how to call this. Okay. Now, when you call a get method on this endpoint, no, with some specific item here, you will come to a get method here. That is how it is linked. Okay. So idea is not now our idea is not to understand this, but we are trying to create a web service that it can be useful. Our idea is to understand the REST methods from the client side. The server is already available. Okay, any of this application, when you are doing API testing, you don't have to develop a web services, which is already developed. That you have to test actually using APIs. Okay, now all these things are developed actually. What you are trying to test it on is from the client side. But I am explaining it here how I have developed a web applications, web services with APIs, REST API support. Okay, so get is whenever you call a get on this endpoint, no, you will come here, it will request for some specific name which you have requested for. Okay, and then what I am trying to do was, I am trying to get from items whether this name is specified or not. This is a list, no? List will have name and value, like you will have key and value pair, no? I am trying to pick that actually. It's a list of dictionary, it is. List of dictionaries, yes. Okay, so I am trying to pick whether specific name is available or not. At a high level, I am talking now. Once I add some content, then we can show you. I will get into this part once again, how it is working. So you are trying to do a lambda function on this. So as and when your name is matched, no, if it is not matching, you are returning as a none. Otherwise, you are returning an item from this list. Think like in a list, you are trying to match something and you are giving the value. Okay, that item you are creating a dictionary and returning with a response 0, 200. If it is not matching, you are returning as a 404.
Error code.
Error code, I will tell you, I have a list of error code also. 200 means success, 404 is resource not available. Okay, then post is a way to create a new item into the items list. So he will have a name and also he will have passes some data actually. Okay, in that name, if it is available, if it is not available, I am returning as none and I am saying that an item is already existing. Like say he has a item as a chair item is available. If he is trying to post one more, he is trying to create one more resource of the same name. No, he says that message is it's already available, existing. You got the point? So post is for what purpose? Post is to create a new resource. Okay, when you are creating, already you would have created a chair as a one resource or any object is already available and once again you are trying to create, no, an item is already available, it says, and you will say 400 response. Item already exists. If it is not, then you get from a request you get a JSON value and you get a data, what is the data actually which you have to create new resource. So you have created an item actually like this from the form of dictionary. This is the format. I have a name and then I have a price. Okay, and inside the data you have a price value that you are creating here, and then you are appending into a list. So this list will be appended. You got it? First, what you usually do when you call with get, no, you will always get item is not available because it's an empty list. I don't have a database. When you call directly get, no, you don't have anything there, then you will get a 404 response. Now, when you say first time post, no, as a chair, you will create an object and you create a resource here, no, you'll have one item. That time you can call a get method to get the what you have added. Okay, now delete means any object you can delete from the main items actually. So you get a delete call from the item, you are trying to get the specific item actually, and then you say message item is deleted. You are trying to delete from a resource from a list, and then put is to modify the existing resource. So initially you created a chair with some price called $15. Now later after a year that chair price would have got incremented in the store. So you say that chair price is $17. So why you have to do that is a server actually. All the places that server will be fetched. No, from the UI they will fetch the data, right? In Amazon, when they have selected any product, no, they keep changing the update the price, right? Or how they will pick? They will pick it from some database. Now, I don't have a database here. I am still having a one static data as a list actually. I am keep appending there. If I don't restart this, no, like in any time if it restarts, no, then all the items will be exhausted. So that's why you have to keep it in a database. I've taken it as a store because you are always familiar with this e-commerce application. No, that's why I'm keeping it as a store. You can get the price of that, you can store, you can modify the date, you can add new product into that. That's why I'm showing that. An online store basically. Okay, that you are trying to test. Now in the put, now you get a JSON data, what you want to modify, and then you will filter it for it. If you don't say, if you don't get none, that's not a problem. So if item is none, you are saying something, okay, if item is none. So append the item. So if the item is not found, when you're searching for an item, if item is not found, you are trying to add into that. Put is meant for what purpose? To create a new resource or to modify the existing one. Okay, if it is not none during your search, right? If it is not none, no, what you do? You just update the data and send it actually. You are only doing update. Item is none means that item is not available in your store. So what you have to do? You have to create that item. Put is meant for two purposes: to create a new resource if it is not available, or else to modify the existing resource what is available. This is which one? No. This what you are talking now? No, we are not trying to do a file operation here. This is all at the web service related stuff actually. Okay. See, when you call put, no, put is a HTTP call meant for sending some data, which if the data is not available or resource is not available in the host, no, it will add the item to it. Otherwise, it will update that if it is already existing.
So these functions put and all, they are coming in Selenium only, not by default.
No, it's not Selenium. Selenium we have completed last week. This is API testing.
It's like in testing and all, like here also we have installed some package, no, like git install and so by them only we can use them, or by default in Python also they are there.
Okay, I'll give a context. Okay, so API testing, you understood what you mean by API testing. So now sometimes, right, in a host, there is a server is available and you are accessing some data through UI. But once you develop your server, right, it's from UI means you have to do multiple times click, you have to check for some valid data, invalid data, which is a costly operation. Okay, online Amazon also, if you want to see that, right, data, what is the price available, all that. Now every time you have to go to that page, you have to select the product, you have to see the price, all that you have to see, right? In that, instead of you are replacing all your UI related operation with this methods, actually you call just directly get into that endpoint where is that our product is available. Okay, I'll get into Amazon something. Now my Amazon store, no, I wanted to see this product price has got changed or not. What you do? You are doing this. You are updating this actually. Your job is to update this. Okay, where you are getting this information, all this information. When you call the website, no, where it will get? It will first contact to Amazon server, and it has to fetch the data from the server, and you have to show right here. Okay. Now every time you have to refresh and see what is this. Okay. Otherwise, if you have closed this, no. Once again, you have to come to this page and you have to select this product and you have to come and see, right? I don't want to do all that. I'll have a method, okay, which will talk to API, one more software piece actually. From there, I'll fetch the data and I'll show it. It's like automated. Now let's come here, API testing method. Now, when you say put, right, or I get something, no, this is a get method. I have an endpoint. For example, it can be item dot table or a fan. Okay, when you call with this endpoint, no, you will get the data actually, and you can show that. You got my point? Here, every time it's a manual effort. You have to go to that page, select the product, and see whether it is append or not. It's a manual thing actually.
So we have said it will that it will directly go to our desired.
Now here you know actually what is the endpoint for this. Right now it is very like little complex thing is there, but usually you know actually what is the endpoint. Now you know actually you have updated that in a put method. You have updated the fan price to some $1,000. Now how do you check? Two ways. One is normal process. Go to Amazon Web Service. Just go to the select the product and see whether the output is $1,000 or not. Which is what? It's a manual effort. Now what we are trying to do? We are trying to automate stuffs. Now what you have to know? You know what is the link? What is the endpoint for this? You need to know. and then you call that endpoint. Using that endpoint, you know what is the response you get actually. From that, you will get a list of data actually. Okay, that many things will be there. Under that, you will have one price tag also will be there. That you are checking. You will check whether price is equal to $1,000. So you are automating the stuff. That is what we are trying to do it here. What I am trying to do is, this is not our business actually. I don't have to explain all this. This is one web service which I have developed for online store.
Oh, okay, so in the server.py, we are just starting the web service.
Where here
We are
app.run.
starting,
Yeah, we are
yeah,
starting a web service.
app.run, and also like we are adding some of the resources which we
Yeah.
will be testing in the next script like API testing.py.
Yeah, correct. I am adding all the resources. Now all my resources I have added here. Now when through
Okay.
I can get this thing actually, it is available. Now one is running as a server, another one is running as a client. You got the point. Now I am defining actually for this resource what is the endpoint. For another resource, what is the endpoint I am defining.
So the server is like our Flask only 127.00.
The server is what you know. This one is my server actually, where it is running in my machine 127.00 dot something, and this is a port number where my server application is running.
And where is the
What?
client in
Which
this
one?
case?
Which one?
In this case, like server is 127.0.0.
That is your local machine. For local machine, you use it like 127.0.0.1, a local IP. In the networking, you may be knowing actually, it's a your machine only. It's you are not nothing else. It's your machine only. For local machine, you will give this name actually. It's a static. Every server will have its own name, local name actually. Okay, so it will run on your machine with 5000 as a port. In order to run any web application, you need an IP and you need a port. So it is taking as a local host. Local host will have always this name, and you are specifying this what is the port you have to run. And then you got the point, no?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah. So what till now what you have done, you are making the server up actually, only server thing. I'm not come to the actual testing part. You are making a online store ready. Server. Store basically a server online. So what it is having, the store is there, which is maintaining some products. It has given an API connection actually, because people from entire world, they can access this one. And now everything is online. No, like you can also get into as a merchant actually in Amazon or a Flipkart. No? You can also become a merchant. You can enroll. You have to enroll it here. Now this is my store, and these are all my endpoints. Got some context now? Everybody understood now what you mean by online store. Okay, so normally this will be hosted on some website, and you can access through some UI. But UI for testing, you cannot go with UI because it's a manual effort. Okay. Now all these things, this is one thing, this is one resource actually, and this is another resource, item list, which is also extended using resource class. Here I am interested only in passing the items, which is this guy. And another end node, where I am calling with endpoint is items actually. So you can add n number of resources here. How do you do? API.add resource. Got the idea? Any doubts here? So when you are testing, you will not be doing this development. That is your company's job to do this. What you need? You need only that endpoint. And what is that I have to send? What is that I can expect? That we will see it in the next program. Now, I did not develop an Amazon service. I did only some sample service I have done actually to show you. Now, actual business will start here, API testing actually. This is the place where you have hosted your website, and this is the endpoint for you to access that. You got the point? Everybody understood? Now, why you have to do through programmatically? Otherwise, what you have to do, every time you have to get into a website, select that specific product and see that. Now I know what is the endpoint where it is able to set actually. From the API, I know you go to that and you send a specific request actually. Now in the post, what I am trying to do, I have a one data called my data one. This is a product actually which I wanted to add into my online store. Okay, so I am adding a chair with this price actually 12.99. This will be a new product. Amazon was not selling this. I'm going to add this. When you are doing first time, no, you are going to store this one. Or you are sold, you have added this product. After that, you check actually whether that response from the post, you should get a response of 201. That means you are saying that the status is success. That is what that is, you have to follow standard request actually, request and response. Okay, so 20 means you are okay. That's a web response. You have to follow that HTTP response code. Now, when you say 201, now this is a normal response you get in a post method actually. It says that resource got created. This response code you have to follow actually. You cannot give when you are following a normal HTTP protocol. No, this you have to follow this space. Whenever you get 200 means okay. 201 is for post method. You will get 201 means resource got created. Like that 400 bad request. You have sent a bad request. 404 not found. The resource is not available. Okay. 401 is unauthorized. Some of the websites have an authentication process actually. So every request requires some kind of a key actually. We call authentication key. Okay. So that has to be passed actually. Say unauthenticated. It will not allow you to process the request. Say unauthenticated means you have to know what is that. Okay, 409 method not allowed. You are trying to do some operation which is not allowed. 409 is conflict. There is some conflict actually in the request. Either data may be not proper or some kind of header may not be proper, all that. And 5 is internal server error. It is somehow it is not able to respond to your request. Say 500. In the Amazon, I'll remove something and then I'll see. Can I see 404? What do you mean by 404? Not found. Means you don't have anything in that. Correct? These are all HTTP standards. You have to follow that. Coming back here. You are here only, no? So I'll come here. Any doubt in the code, in the server code? What is that server is trying to do? It's a server, it's a web service actually. It has API support, RESTful API support it has, and I am trying to maintain an online store where through using get, put, delete methods, I am trying to update my database. In the database, currently I don't have a database, but instead of that I have maintaining a list actually, which as and when the application goes down, this or delete list also will be erased. But I don't want to create a huge big thing actually. I am still maintaining a small one, and I can add n number of resources by doing api.add resources. Now all this item and list, these are all item and item, these are all resources. How I have defined that? By extending the resource class. So here I have given my own class. Let's say I don't give a get method. What happens? I'll delete this. What will happen? It will have that get method is already available in your resource method. That will be called. You are extending that. No, that will be called. So, but I want my own definition. So I am just using this get. That is the intention. Not necessary that you have to have everything. Here I have not mentioned put and other stuffs actually. In that case, whatever is there in the resource, no, that will take into place. But I am interested only in get method. I wanted to get all the resources from items that I am collecting. Okay, this is the service, web service I am running in some port actually that I am giving here. I am not giving IP address because it will take a local IP. On local host it will take. It will run from your local machine. Okay, so as and when I run, no, I'll say it requires one argument and it is not giving actually import name. Where it is giving? Flask. Okay, so here it is requiring one argument. You can give any name also. I can give something sample. Okay, it is now running. You can remove this, or else you can give underscore name also. It can give. It will take actually one name. So you can have n number of Flask object can created actually. So it wants to identify between them. So that's why you have given with that. Every time that will be refreshed actually. Okay, that service will be refreshed. Yeah, what do you want? Corsa. You want to send me that code, huh? Yeah, you have a link to that. Yeah, you also connected. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Control C. Now I'll get it to chat and I'll share it. I sent part of it. Let's send other part. This is on the server side. Here I have added this path actually. Sysstart path that append. Okay, this path I have added. This should be your path of where your package is installed. This is this one, sysstart append, sysstart path that append. Then no. Package and all, it is common only. No need to do any changes here. Only line number 3, here it's an optional. If it is for you, it is working means you don't have to add this. Remove this. So line number 3 is an optional. You can comment and run that code. That is an optional because in my case it is not working actually because I have set a different path altogether. Just copy and start running. And also I will share the client part. Okay, what you wanted to do was there is one more thing called request also required. So I'll install that request. Like how you have imported installed a response path, no? Like that you have to import request also. Request. Pip install request. I'll share this code also. This is a separate program. Okay. This you create as a client application. Whatever I shared now. I've shared in 2 block actually. You can take that. And try to compile.
Can you show the server?
Yeah. Some indentation may be wrong actually after copying. you have to make it correction. It got one break was there here actually. Till here I have sent you one time, and I think after that I have sent you like this. You have to copy, you have to follow that indentation and run it, it should work. Tell me whether server is running fine. Done. Completed server. Will it take so much time? Don't have to note down actually. I think I have shared everything. Run the server.
Yeah, it is coming running on.
That's all. Here it is saying, that's all. Server is done. Open another file and you can mention as something like client or API testing something. And second also I have shared. That also you copy. You are also able to run the server, right? Yeah. Client you copy. Nandan, you are able to run the client?
Yeah, like some issues in the indentation while copying pasting. I'll just
Just make sure you follow the indentation. I have 4 test cases here. Meanwhile, I'll explain my code actually. You can just copy and then we can start. It should be okay. All 4 testers tested. All are okay, it should say. Okay, I'll run the client. It say ran 4 tests, all okay. All the methods.
yeah, all the 4 passed.
All okay, right? Because you are running it first time, you will get all okay. You rerun. Manita, you have run twice. Just save it properly. Okay, anyway, I will explain the code. You should get it properly. You should get all okay. Afterwards, you can change it. I'll tell you that logic behind it. Now, one is your web server is running now. Web service is running and it has the capability to talk to through client through API, which has supported all the. It has endpoints. It has API. Everything is there. Now here, what you are trying to do, no? In order to connect to that, now you need a URL. What is the URL? Basically, a link where you can talk to that. So this is your current URL to where you have web server. Now you also need an endpoint. Actually, you can go to this server. No? For getting a resource related operation, you need item and then specific name you have to pass. That is what you have given here. Item and then chair means what? this is a place actually where you are trying to do operation. What operation you are trying to do? Post. You have to build a request. You are trying to request a post operation in this at this URL. And what should be your header? Header means you have to tell actually in the header what is the type you are using. So application type is JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, HTTP always uses this JSON format actually. And you say here what is the data you have to send. So post is what? Create a new entry. So you need to know what is that entry has to be created. For that, what you do? Post, you need to pass a URL and you have to specify the most. Also, you have to specify the header and also input JSON you have to pass. You got the point now? This entry will be created as a resource in your server. You got the point here? Request.post, you are trying to do a post call on this endpoint with the header whatever is specified. In the header will only have that content type. Okay, header is an application JSON type. Okay, this is a standard web application related, like it's a HTTP base you are trying to call. Okay, this is a header, and since you are doing a post call, you also have to pass a data. This is my data. Data is what you have. I am following a simple method. Name is chair, price is this one. In case of Amazon, this one, no, this one, what is this? Product, no. You see the type properties here somewhere. This product will have n number of features actually, but I am only taking name and price. It should be there somewhere, no? Okay, these are all things are there, no? Description about the product. Okay, it's a 3 ATM, RPM, all that. Okay, I'm not looking into all that. I'm creating only one product. I'm saying it's a fan and I'm saying only price. I'm not saying about all the description. I'm not showing actually. Only small things I'm showing. You can have a number of things here. You can also add up a description and you can specify all these things. Now here, now in the name, right? This is I'm only adding a one product. All the product related information I am adding it here. For time being, I am adding what is the name of the product and what is the price of the product.
If you want to add the feature also.
Feature also, all that you have to do it here. You have to have tag. You have to do it all that.
Like as it is, we can write.
Yeah, here only you have to do it. Now you can say that some feature. This will be one more thing, no? Some description I'll say. Okay. So here what you do? I'll copy something here. What is that? I don't know. Something I'm adding.
As it is, we have to add. We are not to show.
This is your tag actually. This is your value. It's all dictionary format you have to give. Ultimately, it will be connected to JSON when you are transmitting. Okay, you added. Now for this also, let me add something. I'll say something else here. I'm trying to show what and all you can do it. We may have to do some changes in the server also. Let's see that later. Now we have added 3 products. 2 products are there with 3 fields are there now. Okay, now what I am trying to do was, So you have a header. Header is with respect to HTTP, where what are all the type you are passing actually, like what should be the header. I am sending in a JSON format. That's why I have selected content as type as JSON. Because here when I am sending a post call, no, I do like data I have to pass. That is data is like JSON.dumps. Okay, this data you do it in the form of JSON. I am trying to say. That's all. I am converting from dictionary to JSON format. That's all. Now I send it. I got a response also after post, and in the response I am trying to check actually whether the status code is 201, means it's whether the request is created or not. So in now time being, if I do it, no, it may throw error because it would have already created once when you have done a first time. So I have to restart the server because it will empty that complete list. Okay, that is about post call. Now what is this get call? Now you have the same URL and on the header you are trying to get that. Now this will come to know whether the resource is added or not. So what is that response is 200, means everything is okay. So from the response you got it as a JSON and then you are trying to print that data actually. What is that data you are trying to pick here? And this is the only status code which I am validating here whether it is 200 or not. 200 is what we said. 200 is okay. Means no. 200 is okay, that it is already successful. That request is successful. And this is the data what you got. So first thing is you have to check whether the request is success or not. If the request is success, then you can print what is the message here. I am trying to convert the response in the JSON format and trying to print that. Whatever you have requested should get it in the response here. Now you do a put actually, means put can do many things. It can do either creation of a new resource or else updating time. So I am trying to create a table here, second table, and I am trying to put some data actually. I am not modifying, I am creating one more data actually. Same thing like post, you are trying to do that. Sorry, here. Okay, table object I am trying to create. Let's say that will be one more resource. You got the point? Same thing I am operating here. I am getting 200 as a response. Things are okay. I am trying to get. And then the delete, I am trying to delete a chair which got created in the post. Okay. Now I can do one more thing. After all, I can get all the resources actually. One more I will do. I am just copying it from the previous one. So A, B, C, D, E. I will give self. Here I will take the different endpoint, that is items. It's a different endpoint actually, and I am getting all the whatever that added. No, I am trying to show it here. Let's run this one. One failure it is showing. What is that one failure? 400. You got 400 for one. That means already resource is available. The post says that an item with chair already exists because I have ran it one time. No, so I'll go and I'll restart my server. That means now no entries are available. Now I'll come here and I'll rerun this program. Now also it says something. 404 for one of the things it is saying 404. Let's see. Okay, I would say that item. Let's see where it is showing a problem. At line number 32, it is throwing a problem. So you are trying to say that what is 404? Not found. Some item is not found, it is trying to say. Just a second. So get is throwing none, but it should be at a different location. Okay, it's a diff tool, it is saying 32. So click see the difference. So you're looking for 400, looking for 200, but you got 400. 404 is the one it is trying to say. Why it is saying 404? We can see here. This is a 404. It is only sending, no? In the API testing at line number what? Okay, so in the get method, you get item, some none method is there. Actually, some item is none, but you are still getting. So some item is not found. Okay, it is not able to add that, looks like. Chair, get method, JSON, you are looking for 200 as a response, but you got 404 here in the get method. So looks like some problem has happened. Chair you would have added here. Okay, let's see the output of this one. Why only get method is coming? Oh, it has executed only one method actually. Okay, that's the problem. Somehow it has executed only one method. That is the problem. Not all the method has executed. So let's rerun this program once again. You got the point, no? That PyCharm has executed only one actually. For some reason, it has not saved properly, or for some reason, it has executed only one stuff. Let's rerun this guy. Now can you see all 5 ran has executed? You can see all that things, no?
So, the output which you are getting.
This is a post actually. From the post you got actually this chair has been added, you are trying to say here. So you got a response from the data. You are saying that chair with this price has been, you got it. Okay, now second one is this get method. From the get, now you got some response. I'm doing an assert. From there you got a response like item, name is chair, price. This was got added in during the post, and you have added, you got it here actually in the get method.
Basically, this is used in like all the like online shopping markets, like e-commerce websites.
No, what we are trying to do, we are trying to test actually. We have added something and we are trying to check whether it is added or not. In the e-commerce, what they do, everybody is using through UI only. We are only doing a testing actually. API testing we are doing it.
So in the real time, like how we can use it?
Like Amazon, before they launched their website, no, they would have done all this API testing before.
Whether it is.
Now like say tomorrow when they are selling some product, no, they are adding new product, no, they would have added. That has to be tested. How they do it? They will not do manual testing. They will use API testing actually.
Whether it is giving valid.
All that they are doing it here. That's the intention of doing it. We are trying to avoid manual effort. You got the required, understood? No. Now let's say tomorrow you only do a update of product. No. So what they do, they have to only do get method call actually on that, whether that price got updated or not. The end customer is what? That you are a customer, you will not call the get method actually. You will use the website only. You got my point? But what they will use this in, they will use it for internal testing actually, whether that is getting a return or not. Now tomorrow they will add thousands of product into Amazon, then they will do all these things actually. That they will not go and specifically go and do a database edit actually. They have given all the method. Now they will add a new product using this one. That is automated now.
So they must have these codes for like.
Yeah, everything it will be there. For everything it will be there. They might have done something simple, they would have done. They would have taken it from some file and from there they would have added. I have done something like some API, all that I have done to show you. You got the point, no? So it is not for a user actually. It is for them to test their stuffs actually. every time they will not do a database entry actually. Okay, add chair, add table, all that they will not do. Everything is automated from there. Tomorrow for running adding some hundreds of products, they will run one application. They'll give files for all the products and it will fetch all that. What is the URL, what should be my product name, description, all that, and they will add it. Because in the back end everything is, they have done the automation here. Okay, so I am appending here. Now they may have a method actually to do an append of new list, new item actually. There should be some database code actually to add that into that database. Now when they are getting it, now here this post, now this is getting it, now they will never use this one. They will have a some database call to get that data and then they will showcase it. That will be too much for you to understand, but that's why I have taken a simple list. You have to understand the purpose here. The purpose is to automate the stuffs. What you will automate? To add any resource, to delete any resource, all that is been added to automated. How you have done? Through REST APIs. Through APIs actually you have done. Tomorrow after adding also you have to do that. No, you have to do a checking now whether it is added properly with proper test and proper price and all. For that you are doing this. Okay, hopefully you have understood. Any questions here? What do you mean by API testing, all that? Now when you call that now with items, right, you see this, all that item has come. What are all the items are there? Chair and table, both items are there. Fine now. Any question, Nandan? You are able to run this code? Nandan got disconnected. You are able to run your program locally? You understood how the web service is working? Now you can modify it. You can customize it based on your requirement. You can add n number of add, delete. You can only run or extend this post method to do all the operation. Okay, so based on the requirement, first you have to understand the purpose, what we are trying to do. We are trying to automate everything now. Otherwise, if somebody has to come and they have to add that whatever that a database entry he has to do for a new product, which is not there. Here everything is automated through REST APIs only. We will call and we will update the things. Okay. This one I have added to get the items actually. You copy from the get actually. Same thing, instead of chair you call items. Now how do you add one more resource? In the server, how do you add one more resource? No. Okay, yeah, correct. Put, that is put only, or post. Put or post. Put you can use it for both append and update and append. How do you add new endpoint? Endpoint. You have to add one more item into that, or you can add one more this one actually. So you have two endpoints actually, which is pointing to this thing. You can have one more thing. This could be online shop, online store for one thing. So you may have something differently from different, say for an example, is online sale. So you can have something, another a class created for only something related to medicines or something. This is for some kind of a office related products actually, like table, chair, or all that. You can have something like different API for doing different things actually. But you will create a different end nodes. Here, instead of items, you can say medicines or something like that. You got the point, no? You are creating a new endpoint. Yeah. I think you got the purpose what we are trying to do. So now API testing is same thing. You do a post and check whether it is successfully created or not, resource is created or not. After that you do a get or put whatever you want, you can do it. You can ask me if you have any questions. I've done with the things. Which one? Assert equal here, no? On the client side, now you're talking. So here, no, you got a status here from the response. Your intention is, if it is true 100 means it is success. Otherwise, it will throw an exception. That means in the any operation, it is not completed. That means it is not completed. So you can say that there is a problem in doing any of the operation.
The last class.
On the testing. Yeah.
After this,
After that, you talk to Abhishek actually. They will be telling actually what connect. Like say if you are in the network background, they may have a network module.
and for about this resume modification.
That also they will help. Abhishek, you can help. Abhishek, there will be some person will be there. They will help you. You have to just ask him actually. Next module, right? They will schedule that. Like they'll create a same kind of a group for networking also. There also you'll have a number of people. They will come and do it.
And so for Python also, there is a batch going on.
Current,
Read some topics.
Batch will be there. Like weekend batches will be there. Currently, that batch is from 9 to 11:30 something like that. 11 o'clock. Since we have,
You yourself also take
there's another batch I'm taking from 9 to 11. Morning.
what topic is going on.
Currently classes like that it is. We have started. Everybody got it, right? Yeah. So now I have given a simple example of that. Now you got a big picture. Now how people, Amazon and other people, they are doing it. How to delete a product? It is very simple. They have to call a delete method on that product. They wanted to remove some product. No, like that. No, sometimes you see that product is not available. What is that called? They will do. No. Out of stock or something. Product status got changed. How they will do it? Which method they have to call? Tell me. Out of stock or price update. What method they will call?
I think in my data, you will update the price.
No. Price is something different. You have everything will be correct only. Like name will be correct, price will be correct. Only the status they will say out of stock. Using which method they can do it? Using put method. Because you are modifying the product. For new this one they will go with this one. What? Post or put also they can call, but post usually they will do it. New item. And now when you are having all the setup ready, no, adding a product is easy. They have to only call put method. Status they will change it using put method actually. They will know actually what the price, what product is not available. They will call put method on all this product actually. Deletion also easy. Completely they will delete the product. Some product, some like say you have some mobiles will be available. Okay. They will not. They will keep it for not available. Product not available for some days, say 3 months. After the product is not at all available, they will delete from their store using delete method. Now once again new product comes, they will go and do this post, and in order to verify, they will do a get method whether that product got added or not properly. On this get method, you will get all the attributes. They can validate all the attributes. What is the product name? What is the price? What is the features? What is the description on that? All that they can do it. I think hopefully you understood everything here. I think I felt actually people knew that API, web application, all that. So I started with some concept actually. So then now at least you understood now what is the purpose of all these things. Now API testing, you can put it in your resume that if you have developed any web application, no, then you can say we have done this using APIs, all that you can put it in your resume.
in interview, what kind of question we can ask, like, from this module to create?
Usually they will not ask much questions actually. It's a straightforward thing.
Like keywords and all they can ask, like put and post.
They may ask actually what do you mean by REST API, why REST API is required, what you will do with that, how do you add a product or something, what is that you do, what get will do, what delete will do.
So for me, my stream is completely different.
True,
My
but
current one, I'm not.
true. Like, see, this is a knowledge actually. You can use it like in the future. If you are working with some,
How I
may not be like say if you are working in a network domain, this may not be useful. He is from networking background, testing background. No, he can say that REST API testing I have done. I may not be able to explain everything. You can understand actually what context you can put these things. Is it?
like I told you initially that I have to change my stream. So for that, I can mention it like.
You simply say that you have you don't have to tell actually you are from networking background. You can even tell that there is one product or one project I have worked where we have done that these things actually. Now you understood what do you mean by API testing. Go and search in Google actually. You will get some dummy projects which you can project it in your this one resume. Something simple, no? API testing examples. This was the basic thing. Now, what do you mean by API testing? How to do all these things was a basic thing which I have told you now. Now you will get n number of things actually in a Google. Get some dummy projects and showcase that.
Do you know any site?
Just Google it. I don't know. And you just Google it, you will get a number of things. That website, you can look into that. Okay, yeah. I'm going to end the meeting actually here. Okay. Nandan, you have any question?
One question, like API testing is done, so like next will be network automation, or will start?
Usually they will take network automation. That will be taken by somebody else actually. It's not me. Better you talk to Abhishek actually and find out what will be the next step.
Okay, and this API automation is only one class, like what?
It's only one class. This is very straightforward, right? You need to have only that installation ready now. Now you got a concept actually. I have given an application, both server and client I have given. You change it based on your requirement. Selenium was a like complex module actually. You have n number of things, a lot of controls were there. That was a tough topic. And
Also in Selenium, we can't remember everything.
it's like, see, one thing is no, I have given a what all controls can be there, what all operation you can do it. In the initial day, no, when you before understanding Selenium, no, you did not know anything. Now you got some clue. Every time if you want to do some Selenium, you can refresh the stuff and you can go ahead. Only in the interview they may ask some specific questions. But you yourself doing Selenium, no, you don't have to remember everything. Obviously, you can go and see what you can do it.
Mostly they will ask Python basic questions.
Maybe they will ask actually how do you work with like say usually no when they say Selenium no they may not ask everything. Okay, because I never hit a question with testing actually, even though then I don't see it. Like they may ask some specific question on a framework and how do you automate all that they will ask. I never hit some question kind of like in Selenium, how do you find an element, all that.
Yeah, one more thing, like we covered unit tests now, but not PyTest now, because generally in interviews they ask mostly about PyTesting framework.
PyTest is a framework for unit test actually. How you have in Java unit test, no? JUnit, no? Like that we have module called PyUnit.
Okay, because in the Selenium classes we covered unit test dot test cases.
Yeah.
So, but PyTest is something like which, okay, we can read it by ourselves.
Yeah. See, I can like here, no, in the 20 hours, we have almost covered 6 or 7 classes here. So I have given some examples for everything. Now you can explore things. Now, a lot of things you can get it from Google or also outside actually, right? Things are very like enormous things are there actually. Materials are available.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right?
Yeah, should be fine.
You got the source code right for both. Anyway, I'm going to share it in that Google Classroom. But
Okay,
just
PyTest also you will share. No, I think you have got something because PyTest related.
I don't have anything, but I'll share you. Unit test I have already shared.
Okay, sure, we'll check there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, fine, na?
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
end the meeting.
thank you.
It will always be there.
It will be there, but there is a chance that it can expire also. You can have your own copy. I don't know what time. Like, see, there's not necessary. No, you will after 6 months. It may not be necessary. No, they will clean up maybe. Even Google Classroom and all that. No, they will have some limited size actually, 1.5 GB or something. Only that much you can keep it. Afterwards, if you are trying to keep now older things, they may delete or I may have to delete. The intention I'm sharing it here means it is not like every time available. You can take your own copy and then you can like leave it.
One more thing, sir, like this PyCharm project I made earlier, it was like Python project.
Uh-huh.
Then we made a new project. So that will be same now. We can open that one also.
You open here, file, open, sorry, new project you can have, or whatever the previous one also you can have. All the projects you can open. I have opening the previous some classes project only still there actually here. You can create new project or you can open the old project. It will be there only. Okay, yeah. I'll share this one. What we and all we have understood. We have understood the unit testing part. What is the use case of unit test? All that example of unit test actually. One project I have told you, na, for hardening this one the software I've done, and then Selenium, basics of Selenium and advanced controls, everything. Then API testing we have covered. They're all part of automation testing. We have not done any manual related testing actually. We've done automation. And API testing can also be done using, there is something called Postman. There is one application is there. Using that also you can do it. But that's a manual effort. Every time you have to type and you have to see the response. You cannot automate. Okay. So, okay, thank you. Okay, I'll update the stuff and I'll then I'll talk to you. Like maybe I'll ping once it is done. I'll ping you. Okay.
Next weekend you will also be here.
I'll be available only for the class, this one actually, yeah. Between 9 to 11, we have some class. Maybe that time is keep changing based on the requirement actually. Some people will be coming at 10 and then it will be changing to 10. But most probably it will be morning only.
So if you want to attend that class, you can come.
Yeah, you can talk to Abhishek and he'll give you the information actually what is the timing. Because last week it was 10:30 to something was there. This time it was between 9 to 11 like that. Okay? Yeah.
Revise all the
Huh.
revise and then we have to.
Yeah, please, yeah. So Nandan, I am going to end the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Vinay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.